Hello, I'm Ajit Kumar Jha. Um, this is I'm making a video for the Public Global channel. This is the English of the Public India channel, which has been going on for the last about 1 week. And this time I'm going to focus on Priyanka Gandhi. And the main reason is because when you witnessed the elections in November, on November 23rd, the results came out for Maharashtra and Jharkhand assembly elections. There were several, almost about 40 odd assembly elections in the country, and the results of the Lok Sabha poll. And in that, Priyanka Gandhi has made her debut in parliament. She just won from Kerala, most of you are aware, and she won from the constituency of Wayanad in Kerala, where she got about 6.22 lakh votes, and she defeated her nearest rival, Satyan Mukheri, by over 4 lakh votes. Now, the media did not sort of give it the right coverage because, of course, most of them would argue it was a foregone conclusion that Priyanka Gandhi would obviously win from Wayanad. But the fact that she won with such a massive majority, even larger majority than her brother Rahul Gandhi when he contested in 2024, the April-May elections, that shows that there is something about Priyanka Gandhi. Remember, this is a debut election, and that shows that there is something about Priyanka Gandhi which is not very well understood. And therefore, we decided to focus on Priyanka. In fact, the third candidate from Wayanad was from the BJP, a woman who's actually a computer engineer. And both Mukheri and this lady from the BJP are actually locals who know Malayalam very well. And Priyanka doesn't. That was one of her disadvantages. But she conquered all that disadvantage with a brilliant campaign on the ground. Then she came, after her victory, she came and swore in parliament. And that became a kind of social media sensation. Several newspapers, several television media sort of compared, especially in the social media, they compared her swearing in with that of the other Gandhis. In fact, many of them started with Jawaharlal Nehru, with Indira Gandhi, with Rajiv Gandhi, her father, Indira Gandhi, her grandmother, Jawaharlal Nehru, her great-grandfather, even her mother, Sonia Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi, her brother. But what was very interesting about Priyanka's swearing was that she swore in Hindi, and she didn't need, she actually read it off, of course, the swearing in ceremony, but she read it with a certain ease. You could see the Hindi sort of flowing straight without thinking much about the various words, her pronunciation itself. But of course, lots of social media commented on the fact that she was wearing, I think, a cream-colored Kerala-made sari. That was one of the significant points. But what was much more significant is then when she went back after winning to her constituency in Wayanad, and she gave a speech there. Her brother Rahul Gandhi accompanied her, and that speech I listened to very carefully, and I thought that that speech is a great speech to analyze what she does. She begins by, of course, thanking everyone in the campaign, all the various campaigners, the grassroots activists, the people of Wayanad. She talks about the way she carried on the campaign, but much more than that, and of course, there was a translator who would translate her entire speech in Malayalam. In fact, she made a promise that one of the first things she's going to do is she's going to learn Malayalam. She even mentioned that she will frequently visit her constituency. In fact, she added with a smile that I will do it so frequently that many of you will get tired of me. Of course, that was supposed to be in affection. But the best part of the speech was when she talked about the crisis that Wayanad had just a few months back, when several people had lost their life in that massive cyclone, and she mentioned how villages were completely wiped out. And then she mentioned the best part of it, that how people from Wayanad, from different areas, they came together regardless of caste, class background, religious background, whether they were Muslims or Christians or Hindus or some other community. They all came together and helped out each other, and that she held almost as a great example of how India should live together. She pointed out that at a time when India is communally polarized in such a way that it is torn asunder between various religious communities, and she argued that the NDA government, she charged, is kind of fanning it partly. She said at that time what is required is the Wayanad spirit, the spirit of people coming from all over to help out each other. She gave the example of a young man who wrote a letter to her that she asked him, "What is your job?" And he said, "My job is to help people." That, I thought, was a lovely metaphor at this moment when in Parliament we see sort of these debates which are raging over silly issues like which temple was built on which masjid and it should be unearthed, and court cases and things of that sort. So I thought that was a very powerful message by Priyanka. But let me use this occasion to take a long, short view of Priyanka Gandhi's past, as well as we will kind of look at which way Priyanka Gandhi should start her second innings from now that she is a member of parliament. What are her strengths? The media focuses more on, the mainstream media especially focuses more on the fact that the Gandhis are now in both the houses. Her mother Sonia Gandhi in Rajya Sabha, she and her brother Rahul Gandhi in the Lok Sabha. But that is not what this video is about. This video is about the fact of Priyanka Gandhi. Who is Priyanka Gandhi? What has been her political oeuvre, if you want to point out? Let's take a look back. Priyanka Gandhi studied in Dehradun, Welham, when her brother was in Doon School, Rahul Gandhi. That was the time when her father sort of had become the Prime Minister of India, and it was such a lovely period. And then began the great traumas of her life. Even as a young girl, her father was killed. Her grandmother actually was first killed, sorry, I forgot, in the year 1984 by the bodyguards. And that was quite a big trauma for the family. And then her father became Prime Minister in the same year. And he lasted as Prime Minister till 89, lost the election in 89, while sort of in the south, in fact, campaigning, he was killed by a Sinhalese woman who was considered a terrorist. And from then on, her life took a very sort of traumatic trajectory. I mean, she was married, of course. She had later on 2 children, but she kept away from politics in a way. Her entire role in politics was basically helping her mother, Sonia Gandhi, and her brother later, Rahul Gandhi, and she campaigned for them in their constituencies. In fact, I remember the year 1999, she first came and started actively campaigning for her mother in Raebareli. Later, she began to campaign for Rahul Gandhi in Amethi. And she proved to be an extraordinary campaigner from the very beginning. I remember watching her in the year 2004 elections, especially an election which everyone thought Atal Bihari Vajpayee is going to win all over again. But I had accompanied Sonia Gandhi. I was working for India Today as their political editor. I had accompanied Sonia Gandhi when she was moving in Western UP, all the way in UP. And I sort of went even to her constituency, and there I saw Priyanka Gandhi for the first time in action. And I realized that she's got an extraordinary connect with the people. First of all, it hit me that she speaks Hindi with as much ease as any top leader of any politician of the country. In fact, some of the very best, and has an equal ease in English. And that is the time it also occurred to me that one reason she is very popular, especially with the village women, is because they see a reflection of Indira Gandhi in her. She has a great resemblance with her grandmother, and much more than just a facial resemblance. It's the way she talks. It's the way she's so spontaneous, like Indira Gandhi. When she talks straight from the heart. When she talks, she convinces people. She persuades people around her with straight talk. There isn't, great jargon or anything when she talks. And she starts with simple examples, and then she quickly connects that with the sort of problems all over the country. I have rarely seen her. I have covered her campaigns even in recent elections. For example, I also, she was for a while the in charge of Eastern UP when Jyotiraditya Scindia was in charge of Western UP. And in those days, she was campaigning left, right, and center all over Uttar Pradesh. And in fact, I was doggedly following her and other leaders at that time in UP. And I noticed again, it's the same connect she has, the same spontaneity. She's such a charismatic figure, and especially women get completely mesmerized by her. I remember going to the Lucknow office, which before she came and after she left, and I spoke to some of the workers, activists of Congress there later, with some of the local Congress leaders in Lucknow, and they pointed out that before that, the Lucknow office of the Congress almost looked as if no one visited it. Even in fact, the person in charge told me कि साहब आपको चाय पिलाने के लिए भी मेरे पास कप प्लेट नहीं है. The situation was so bad. But when they heard that she's coming, the entire place was spruced up. And the remarkable thing, what she did, what those activists and leaders told me, that she completely created a buzz there in Lucknow. She gave life to the entire Congress party in Uttar Pradesh, which, for years since Congress had been decimated in Uttar Pradesh. In fact, the last election where Congress party had done very well was in the year 2009. After 2009, it was a rapid decline, whether in the Lok Sabha or in the various Vidhan Sabha elections. In fact, by 2017, BJP had become a complete saffron state. In fact, in 2024, when the BJP did not perform very well in the Lok Sabha elections, for the first time, again, there was hope among the Congress cadres, but that was largely because of Akhilesh Yadav and the Samajwadi Party. But Priyanka has groomed herself during those grassroots campaigns, whether trying to campaign for her mother or to campaign for her brother. In fact, she talks about it in various places. She talked about it, and it left me wondering what would have happened if Priyanka had entered parliamentary politics or even assembly politics right back in 1999. That is, almost now 25 years ago. She's 52 now. She was a young woman then. And I feel that perhaps it would have been better if she had entered then. But the reason, of course, in private interviews that she had given was that the fact that when she witnessed, the murder of her grandmother, the murder of her father, that traumatized her to such an extent that she didn't have the courage to come, and the anger was so much welled up inside her that she didn't want to come into politics. In fact, you see that reluctance also in Rahul Gandhi. Even his father, Rajiv Gandhi, was initially reluctant to come into politics. He was almost pulled into politics because of the fact that his mother was killed. And it was the same reluctance you find in Sonia Gandhi, who again was dragged by Congress leaders to come into politics. And in fact, Sonia Gandhi could have easily become the prime minister in 2004, but she chose not to. Instead, she nominated Manmohan Singh. And one of the reasons why I mention this is because the family always felt that Indira Gandhi, of course, she was a great leader, but the two mistakes that she had made in her lifetime was the national emergency, which she imposed in 1975, and the fact that in Punjab, when the Punjab was on the boil, the way it was handled during Operation Blue Star, and later after her murder, the way the Sikhs were massacred in Delhi, the Congress party has apologized for that officially. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, all of them have apologized. They appointed, for the first time in the history of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, a Sikh Punjabi Prime Minister for 2 terms. And at the same time, some of the evils that were done at that time, the way governors were sacked, chief ministers were sacked, governors were imposed in some of the states. Those are the things that the new Congress, the Congress under Rahul Gandhi now, initially, before that, under Sonia Gandhi, have kept far away from. They are critical of it. But I feel that why Priyanka is very important, the entry of Priyanka is very important, because A, it reminds you of Indira Gandhi, at least the older generation, most of us who have some acquaintance with Indira Gandhi or has read about Indira Gandhi. You need a top leader like that. What were the strengths of Indira Gandhi? For a moment, let's just briefly look at it. The way she stood up to United States of America when they tried to bring the 7th Fleet and into the Bay of Bengal, and at the time when Bangladesh was being created, and they threatened India. At that time, Indira Gandhi stood up to the might of Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger, for example. In fact, Henry Kissinger used to use unparliamentary language to talk about Indira Gandhi. The way she helped create the whole liberation of Bangladesh, Pakistan was torn asunder into 2 parts. Then the way she almost appropriated Sikkim, and made it part of India. In fact, if you remember, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the leader of opposition, had called her Durga Mai at that time. Now, that is very significant, that people, sometimes when they talk of Modi, Prime Minister Modi, as a great leader, they always think of Indira Gandhi. In fact, all the surveys that I did in India today, the various polls in the country, whenever we asked voters who they considered to be the most powerful prime minister ever had, somehow most people forgot Jawaharlal Nehru. They always pointed out Indira Gandhi. So I think to a great extent, Priyanka can create that magic. And what Priyanka specifically needs to learn from Indira Gandhi are 3 things. Let me briefly account. 1971 election, 1972 assembly election, 1967 Congress had lost in 8 states out of 16 states in the state assembly polls. In 67, Congress had its lowest vote compared to the last four Lok Sabha elections. Indira Gandhi recreated the party. The party had torn asunder between indicate and syndicate, and Indira Gandhi, sort of with the help of the left forces in the country, with Garibi Hatao as the slogan, recreated the party. The same Indira Gandhi did in 1980 because in 1977 when she lost to Janata Party, just 3 years later, the way she recreated the Congress's organization. At one time, Congress's organization used to be powerful at the district level, Pradesh level, village levels, the DCC, the PCC, wings of the party. She kind of recreated the electoral coalition in 1980, and the way she came back with a massive majority, had she not been killed at that time in 1984, perhaps she would have been the longest serving prime minister in the country that the country ever had. So that is a magic that I see Priyanka Gandhi should aim at. The fact that Indira Gandhi insisted on socialism, secularism, Garibi Hatao, even went ahead and nationalized the banks, so that kind of left-wing position would be the most would be the perfect opposition to the BJP today, which is conservative, which is Hindutva, and only someone as young and as dynamic and as spontaneous and charismatic as Priyanka Gandhi can do this role. So this is what I feel, that the entry of Priyanka Gandhi might just seem as an ordinary member of parliament, but what she's capable of, if the Congress ends up recreating that organizational strength of 1971, 1980, which they basically lost, let's say, a great deal since 2014. That if Priyanka can take over, if she can take over the creation of the organizational base of the Congress, and at the same time, if she continues the way she speaks spontaneously, both in English and in Hindi, in Parliament and outside, I think Congress has some hope in the future. Thank you very much.